Hello heroes, Kelthar of the Heroes and Legends, and welcome back to the RPG Corner where we're playing The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. So, this is really awkward. I just about had another issue. If you think back, if you want to say about 15 or so episodes, I had a message where I had file corruption, and I think it was episode 53. I don't remember the exact number. What the hell? That was weird. I don't remember the exact number, but the episode itself would not... I wasn't able to edit it. I couldn't upload it. It was really messed up. It just wouldn't let me. And so the episode you're watching now is having the same issues, but you're probably wondering, how is this working? How are you able to show us the episode? Well, I'm re-recording it. I went back and found the save file that corresponds to the episode, and basically I'm just redoing the whole episode. And then you're probably wondering, or now you know why I save like over and over and over again. I'm constantly resaving my games, like multiple saves of everything, because I don't want to deal with some of the issues of saying, hey guys, you're gonna miss an episode, you're not gonna see what happens here. I don't want you guys to miss out. So to avoid having you miss out, I am re-recording the episode. I know this is a long, lengthy explanation as to what's going on, but I had to do it. Gotta do it. So since I have to redo the whole episode, let's just go do it. Let's go. As we click the door, here we go. We still seem to have a little time before the next train leaves. I know they don't have voices, but, you know, I have to redo this, trying to make myself entertained. A whole hour of footage that you might see here. What should we do? It might be best to just wait in the station until the train arrives. Let's wait in the station. Yeah, let's go wait inside. We need to buy our tickets for the trip to Garellia Fortress too. Hey Eustace, wanna buy me some snacks? Buy your own damn food. I added that part. Lively as ever, I see. Let's head in then. And there's Celine. So it's awkward going back and redoing something you've already done, because I already know everything that's gonna happen here. Bowler Hat Man. There's the crew. Ooh, I could see the castle for a second there. Wait, it's gone again. Well, the forest is quite dense around here. Still, we saw a lot of weird things in that castle. It was one thing after another from the moment we walked through the door. What are you looking at me for? Never mind, because we know you're up to something. We know. That was pretty great. Do you have this much fun on all your field studies? I just wish it was a little longer. Those 2 days went by so quickly. Well, the field study isn't over. We're on our way to our next location, so don't relax just yet. Looks like I must say farewell to Legram once again for the time being. I wasn't expecting to, but I can't help but feel a little homesick already. I can understand why. It was a really welcoming place. I didn't ever get the sense that social classes were keeping people apart. True. It seems like a place that we nobles could learn much from. I'd definitely like to visit again in the future. It would be great to bring Fee and the others next time too. You're all more than welcome in Legram anytime. Can only hope I'll continue to learn and grow between now and when I next return. After leaving Legram, we changed trains at Berryhard Station and rode the Krutzen Main Line north, heading towards Keldic. Get on the train. Take a ride. Lots of trains before we head to If you remember the prologue, we're actually headed to the point in the very beginning of the game, the prologue. We're finally catching up. All of the game up to this point was basically trying to fill in the blanks on what led to this point. Alright, let's go over our schedule again. We're currently en route to Keldic, where we'll rendezvous with Group B. From there, we'll take the Transcontinental Railroad to Garellia Fortress on the Empire's eastern border. Garellia Fortress is one of the Imperial Army's largest strongholds. There goes the famous penal cannons of Erebonor. It's sometimes referred to as the wall that protects the nation from the threat of the Calvard Republic. I've heard it's ludicrously gigantic, almost an icon of military excess. It also houses the 2 railway guns and has a military exercise ground on the premises. Weren't those the weapons that Gwyn said he regretted constructing? Yeah, there are these 2 massive orbital cannons pointed toward the east at Calvard, or more specifically, they're aimed at the buffer zone between us and them, Crossbell State. They are pretty crazy, yeah? It's like you're looking at a mountain of iron. I was pretty overwhelmed when I first saw them. Wait, you've actually seen the railway guns in person? Yeah, Gramps took Claire, Lecter, and me to see them this one time. These are the mightiest weapons wrought by the hands of man since the Great Collapse. I want you to consider what it means that such weapons have been placed here. Well, something like that anyway. To consider what it means? He has a flair for the dramatic, I'll give him that. Come to think of it, today's the day, isn't it? The day that the Chancellor is scheduled to depart for Crossbell with Prince Oliver. Guess the trade conference kinda snuck up on us, huh? I think that's where Lecter's going to. I want to go to Crossbell. There's supposed to be a really famous theater group there, and they have a huge theme park. That's what I've heard, but you probably know more about it than I do. Apparently, President Tawa is going as part of the entourage to further her studies. Really, she never fails to impress. I hear she's been getting job offers from a bunch of different companies, ready to hire her right after graduation. Well, she does merit the high esteem people lavish on her. She's the pride of the academy. See, it's one of those... It's like something major is about to happen. That's why you're getting the timestamps. It's like, this is what led up to the point, which you'll see in the next episode. The point. All passengers disembarking here in Keldic, please exit the platform via the bridge. I repeat, do not approach the rope barriers on platform 1. Didn't read that. Sorry, I was drinking coffee. What's going on here? All this security feels kind of ominous. Seems the railway military police is guarding the opposite platform. Yeah, I wonder if...
Well, isn't this quite the coincidence?
Claire. Yeah.
Captain Claire!
It's Claire! Did you come to see me?
Just a coincidence, I'm afraid. Eisengraf will be passing through here soon, so this station's operating under heightened security.
Oh, right!
Still, I'm happy to see you again. It's been, what, 2 months since I last saw you?
She really is attached to Captain Claire. Yeah, almost like sisters. Hard to believe both of them are Ironbloods. At any rate, good day, everyone. Let me thank you again for all your help during the recent crisis in Heimdallr. Don't worry about it. We simply did our duty as citizens of the Empire. More importantly, what's the meaning of all this extra security? And what is this Eisengraf you mentioned? As in Iron Count, right? You'll see what I mean soon enough. special express train will momentarily be passing by platform 1. This train will be passing through at high speed, so travelers on the platform are advised to exercise caution. A special express train? It couldn't be. Ah, right on time. Look at that bullet of a train. Oh, slow time. It's Toa. There's Toa, and there's Prince Oliver. Yep, that's him. Check it out. I can see people. Why is he able to slow down time? Because he's super powerful. Nobody messes with me. Ooh! Why does the Chancellor have the ability to look at me in my slow time state? Who is he really? Is the Chancellor, C for Chancellor, C? Is that him? No. I don't think it is. It's the guy that was in Legram. The noble that was in Legram. That guy's C. So that was the Eisengraph. Come to think of it, I've heard rumors of a special Crimson train. It's supposedly reserved for use by members of the Imperial government. I've been on it before. It's really fast. It's pretty fancy inside, too. The Eisengraph, or the Iron Count in the common parlance, was so titled in honor of Chancellor Osborne himself. Well, I do hear him called the Blood and Iron Chancellor all the time, so I can understand the iron part. But isn't the Chancellor a commoner by birth? He is indeed, however. He was granted the title of Count by His Majesty when he was made Chancellor 11 years ago. Supposedly, that's what led to the train being given its name shortly thereafter. I see. I doubt he, of all people, sees any worth in titles or peerage. Reen? Yeah? Is something bothering you? Your attention seems elsewhere. Still feeling tired after yesterday? No, not really. I just happened to catch a glance of Toa and Prince Oliver on the train as it passed by. Wow, I'm surprised you could even make them out. Must have a hawk's eyes to be able to see them when the Eisengraph whooshed by so quickly. It's probably just a coincidence. It was more than just a glance, though. I could see them clearly, in detail. What was that just now? Well, as long as you're not feeling unwell. We would like to thank all passengers for their cooperation with today's security measures. Transcontinental Railway service bound for Crossbell State now arriving on Platform 2. Here it comes. Looks like we didn't have to wait long after all. And this is where the rest of the classmates will meet up with me. Group B. For group bitches. There they are. They all walked out like in the same uniform way. Hey, there they are. Reen, over here. Come on, we haven't got all day. We saved you some seats. This part's funny. Watch this. We saved you some seats, they said. Well, if you'll excuse us, Captain. See you later, Claire. Of course, have a safe trip, everyone. There's Crow. There's hot teacher Sarah. Whoa, who's this classy looking babe? Gosh, should have stayed on the train. We've received word from Squad 8. No unusual movements have been detected near the Twin Dragons Bridge. We've also received word from Squad 21. They report all high-speed armored cars are in position. Understood. Remain vigilant until the Eisengraph is finished passing through. Once it reaches Crossbell City, have all squads switch to Phase D. Yes, ma'am. Are you sure the Imperial Liberation Front will show themselves? They will, I'm certain of it. I see, it sounds like Group A had quite an eventful couple of days, too. Yeah, though I find it kind of hard to believe you could have seen the ghost of Leanne Sandlot. That's ridiculous. Are you sure you weren't just hallucinating or something? You can think whatever you like. We totally saw her, I swear. A ghost or not, there was definitely someone there besides us. Anyway, that's enough about ghosts and spirits for the time being. I'm more concerned about the affairs of the living, like where Toval and the Radiant Blade Master went. So, there he is! That's the guy. Cayenne. Duke Cayenne. Remember that name? More for me, mainly, because I have a terrible memory sometimes. Duke Cayenne, I think, is C. That's my theory. That's what I'm sticking to. If you know already, do not say in the comments below, because I don't want to be spoiled yet. Sounds like Duke Cayenne is up to something. See, he's up to something. And he's not someone we can afford to take lightly. We didn't run into anything like that in the Jurai Special Economic Zone, though I guess that makes sense seeing as it's under direct control of the Imperial government and not a noble. I seem to recall that it was annexed 8 years ago, is that right? Yeah, the Empire stitched it on nice and neat without much opposition. Now it's prospering as a special economic zone on the coast. Seemed like a pretty lively place. And the revenue generated from taxes there goes directly to the Imperial government's coffers, instead of the pockets of the nobility. It's hardly a mystery why the reformists think so highly of it. Well, that aside, I'm a little concerned about the upcoming trade conference in Crossbell. Same goes for the Imperial Liberation Front. They've been awfully quiet since that show they put on last month. Now that you mention it, that does seem rather suspicious. Is that somehow related to why we're going to Garellia? Well, it's not the main reason, but it's not entirely unrelated. I'll let you look forward to finding out all about it when we get to the fortress itself. Anyway, how many of you have passed through Garellia Fortress by train before? Of course she has. I see. Just us, huh? Can't wait to see everyone's first reactions. True. Why is that? Well...
Try again later.
Okay, my watch was talking, random. Well, I've seen it in photographs at least. A camera can't really capture how ridiculous it is. Yep, it's supposed to be this macho gateway to the Empire, but it just seems like it's trying way too hard. What's that supposed to mean? The gateway to the Empire and one of the largest military bases in the country? I look forward to the chance to see it in person then. There goes the Twin Dragons Bridge. There's Garellia Fortress. It's time to throw down. The train carrying Class 7 continued its ride on the transcontinental line heading toward the east. They passed through the Twin Dragons Bridge, a Kreutzen provincial army base, and several stations later, it was finally time to pass through Garellia Fortress, which loomed large on the border with Crossbell State. 11:20. Bum bum bum. The Ministry of Railways wishes to thank all passengers for their patronage. The next stop is Garellia Fortress. Garellia Fortress. This train will stop for 5 minutes. Please be aware that only authorized personnel may disembark at this station. Be advised that all orbital photography is strictly prohibited within the fortress and is punishable by imperial law. Any attempt at unauthorized recording may result in the confiscation of your equipment or detention by the authorities. Well, that was kind of... It sounded pretty severe for a train announcement. Well, we are passing through a military facility. I don't think they're being unreasonable. Do you really think that's the issue here? I'm not sure having that be one of the first things foreign visitors here gives a very good impression of the country. Oh, we're finally here. What in Adios's name is that? It's the fortress. This is where it all began. Eastern border, Garellia Fortress. The scale is just... This is Garellia Fortress? This entire place is built from iron and concrete. Just how much money has the army dumped into building all of this? Yep, that was about as entertaining as I'd hoped. Not that I'm surprised, I thought the same for things when I first saw it. From the crossbell side, all you can see is a cliff though. Yeah, but there's 2 railway guns still poke out through it. Hey instructor, what did you bring us out here to show us? What else? We're here so you can see the true essence of what makes an army. What compromises the military strength and forms its foundation. And what other place in the Empire is that on display as clearly as here? Garellia Fortress platform. Who are they? Engineers and tradesmen mostly. You'll see a lot of them around here. Keeping a fortress this size up and running is a full-time job for more than just the military's people. So it seems. It's almost like its own town here. On the other side of this fortress is more or less a straight shot to Crossbell, right? To think that such a bustling center of trade is so close to a massive military facility like this. Yeah, Crossbell City's only about 30 minutes away by train. From the top of the fortress, you can even see the skyscraper where the trade conference is going to take place.
I see you've arrived.
Yep. Nightheart.
Oh, Instructor Neidhart.
Good morning, Major Neidhart. Instructor Valestein of Thor's Military Academy, homeroom teacher for Class 7, reporting the arrival of myself and all students in my care.
Acknowledging your arrival at 11:30 hours. Welcome to Garellia Fortress. In addition to my teaching duties at the Academy, I hold the rank of Major in the Imperial Army's 4th Armored Division. I'll be acting as your guide, as well as your instructor for special lectures during your time here at the fortress. Now, if you'll follow me...
Don't do it, it's a trap. It's a tarp. Women's dormitory. Men's dormitory. A lot of them are just kind of in the same pose, like hands on hips, one leg kind of slightly bent. Including today, you have 2 days remaining in this month's field study. However, we won't be assigning you any tasks during that time. Instead, you'll be participating in a series of special lectures and a field trip. A field trip here? So what exactly does that entail, instructor? At 1400 hours today, a joint military exercise will be taking place at Garellia's Proving Ground. The 4th and 5th Armored Divisions will both be participating, and you will be observing it. We're gonna watch a military exercise? This is the 4th Armored Division, huh? The 4th Armored Division is led by none other than Elliot's dad, Lieutenant General Olaf Craig. By all accounts, it's one of the strongest armored divisions in the Imperial Army. And did you know our friend the Major here is their most promising young member? It's true. Moving on. Oh, cough. Moving on. As I said, you'll only be observing this exercise, not actively participating. I imagine that has some of you feeling rather relieved, doesn't it? It does sound like a pretty easy assignment after all, but we'll see how many of you feel the same after experiencing it for yourselves. That's all from me. It's currently 11:50 hours. Lunch has been prepared for you in the mess hall. I advise you all to eat. Your field trip isn't something to be undertaken on an empty stomach. Look at this gourmet food. So, this food. We have salty corned beef, and I think I'm getting a hint of peas from the soup. You could use this bread as a lethal projectile. I do think it wouldn't have hurt to use a few more herbs or flavors in general. Calling this edible would be generous. I've heard plenty of rumors about the food they serve in the Imperial Army, but I wouldn't have guessed they'd all be true. I didn't think the food they served in the mess hall at Zinder Gate was all that bad, though. I don't think it would kill them to serve something a little more appetizing. This is the exact same thing they served when I came here with my class last year. Probably from the same batch, too, by the look of it. Really brings back memories. I was pretty surprised the first time my dad brought me to eat here, too. You guys really think it's that bad? Really brings back memories for me, too. At least there's some cheese and an apple. The food served in the army makes use of common ingredients that are easy to preserve and store. The ingredients used to make all the food on your trays can be easily stockpiled in large quantities, so even if a war were to break out, a meal like this could still be served without any trouble. So that explains it, I see. So the army serves simple foods all the time to avoid the decrease in morale from wartime rationing. Well, not all the time. However, one can think of this food as a philosophical statement from the continent's strongest army. And that's in the sense that it suggests that soldiers should live and work each day as though a war effort depends on them. Every day, so they should just be as tense during times of peace as during times of war. Well, it's a bit too much mind over matter idealism for my tastes, but it's worth being aware of. And to throw a different perspective in the mix here, the food the provincial army serve is actually pretty good. Good enough that you can't help but wonder how they'd cope if an actual war were ever to break out. Well, it's not like serving good food means you have a crappy army. I hear our neighbor LaBeurle serves up some pretty tasty food in their army. LaBeurle's army is fairly elite, probably because the threat of being neighbors to the Empire keeps them tense. I feel a little conflicted hearing you say that. Well, these things are all about finding a good balance. Variety is the spice of life, you know. If you eat nothing but dull, bland food all the time, well, you know what they say. You are what you eat. I could do with fewer of your pithy remarks in my diet, Instructor Valestein. Really? Pithy? Anyway, as you heard, there's going to be a military exercise at the Proving Ground at 2 in the afternoon today. It's 12:30 right now, so you have an hour to do whatever you like. They'll make an announcement half an hour before, so be sure to listen for it and do whatever it tells you. Understood. So when you say whatever we like, does that mean we can tour the fortress? Of course, you're welcome to roam around, as long as you don't poke your nose into any restricted areas. So go ahead and explore. There's plenty worth seeing here, like the command center. Though if you're feeling a little tired from your field study so far, you're welcome to rest in your rooms. It would be a shame to waste such a valuable opportunity. I suppose I should at least get a general overview of the fortress. And this is where I get to run around. And your objective at this point is to find every single member of your class, instructors included, and then the next part starts. Now, I spent probably a good 30 minutes doing this next part because I talked to everybody thinking something was going to happen. And because I'm redoing this for you guys, and to save you the nitty-gritty, literally nothing happened with any of these regs. I'll call them regs. Nothing happened in any of the regs, only with the exclamation points. So, unless I, kind of feel like it, I'm probably just going to talk to my classmates. These days, I find myself looking forward to mealtime so I can read letters from my family while I eat. It sure ain't the food that puts a smile on my face, that's for sure. I don't think I could keep this slop down if I didn't have these letters to take my mind off of it. So yeah, and then you couldn't get a recipe from Chef Sly. You can get that in another Chef Sly Stallone. They do things a little differently. Let's go to the motor pool. Yeah, see, look at that berm. Get some little scenes. Nice little horse logo. This is the tank room. Look at these massive tanks. Tank lords. Seems like this is the hangar for tanks and armored cars. It's kind of staggering to see so many of them lined up in one place. Okay, now that I'm here, I can go talk to these two. I'm not looking forward to this. You've never seen any military exercises before, right, Reen? Yeah, this will be my first time. I take it you have then? Yeah, my dad showed me one last time he brought me out here. He really does want me to join the military, but I really don't think I'll ever be suited for it the way he is. I get where you're coming from. The more I hear about his dad, the more curious I get. I'm not entirely sure how I feel seeing so many Atzens lined up like this. The Reinford Company makes these, don't they? Unfortunately so. I'm sure they'll be using them for the military exercise too. As far as I can tell, they'll be pitted against the older automated models. That sounds pretty brutal. The older tanks won't stand a chance. Well, that's kind of the point. They want to show off just how easily the Atzens can dominate them. We don't get the chance to go eyes on with this stuff every day. I'll take the opportunity to see for myself just how competent they are. That's just like her. Okay. Couple of explore a little bit. These tanks are pretty huge. This is where I'll talk to this guy. This is where you get to see that they have the internet. This here is called the OrbitalNet. We got it hooked up after the Reinford Company asked us to test it out. I gotta say, it's pretty darn impressive. You can pretty much access it whenever you want, and you can give way more specific orders than you can on the phone. To be honest, this overtime would have been a huge nightmare if it weren't for this. Yep, I get orders over the internet now. This is where all this goes down. And then I think... let's see if I go here. It goes back up there. We're gonna go here. This takes me outside. Wow. Yep. This is where we kind of came in via train. Salute. And turn and move. We got some armored cars on the overpass. Funny thing is, I think I'm going to be up on that overpass right now. Yeah, we're going to be up on that overpass. They actually won't let you run around the floor area down here. It's just the overpass. I can't believe the size of this place. Oh, given that uniform, you must be one of the students from Thor's. Feel free to look around all you like, but try to stay out of our way. We're all incredibly busy at the moment. So if you don't mind, I'd ask you to make your way to the corridor over there instead of hanging around here. Understood. Thank you very much. Might as well head over there. So then they put me on the overpass. It's like, hey, you can go on the overpass, but that's about it. Don't try nothing silly. Then you talk to all these fools. Gaius, you okay? I'm just kind of shocked by how different the atmosphere here is from Zendergate. Well, it is a major military base right on the border of a crossbell. Never imagined it'd be quite this big, though. This place is such a departure from Zendergate that I can hardly believe that this is the same military. Although perhaps this is the true face of the Imperial Army. And then uses, this fortress is the very definition of oversized, and that's ignoring the excessive displays of military power. I imagine that the Kreutzen Provincial Army, to show the Kreutzen Provincial Army that they could crush them on a whim. Forgot what this place probably means to you and your family. I suppose. While I don't agree with my father's actions, I can't say I'm comfortable with this fortress's presence either. In fact, I find it hard to believe that anyone could sleep peacefully near a fortress like this. Well, there's no sleeping. Oh, I guess you can't see it from here after all. Be able to see it from where the railway guns are, but they'll get mad if I get too close to them. What are you up to now, Milliam? You know that huge Orcus Tower where they're holding the trade conference? I'm trying to get a good view of that. Oh yeah, they mentioned it in the Imperial Chronicle and on the radio. Can you actually see it from all the way over here? That'd be incredible. Would I ever lie to you? Wish I could have gone with Gramps instead of being stuck on some stupid field study. Why'd you join Class 7 then? Speaking of which, they're going to be holding the keynote session there tomorrow. Wonder what they'll be talking about during it. Most people are thinking it's just so they can decide on finance rules and stuff for Western Zemuria. But I think it's really going to end up being about who Crossbell belongs to. Knowing Gramps, he might even try to get Crossbell to become a part of Erebodr. Seriously? Prince is going to be there too, so he'll probably just try to shake everybody up a bit. Unbelievable. Toe was there too, so here's hoping things go well. And then that was everybody up on the bridge. So we're just gonna... Jesus, can't even control. So we're back in here. Let's go to the central freight platform. Believe... No, there's nobody there. Okay. And then... There's 4 there and then 2 there. Okay. Heard about the fortress from my father, but seeing it in person really drives it home its incredible scale. But yeah, your father helps train the Imperial Army in swordsmanship, doesn't he? I can see why he's so busy. He's going around training all the soldiers in places this massive. Indeed, I feel like the reality of that is finally sinking in for me as well. I have no idea how his teachings are actually being applied, though. Perhaps we'll have the opportunity to find out during today's military training exercise. I'm looking forward to it. The soldiers here seem pretty well trained, pretty well equipped too, like you'd expect from the Empire's biggest fortress. You need to put in some serious prep time if you wanted to topple it. Fee, I'm not sure you should be... That's something you should say within earshot of the soldiers. Old habits die hard. And I think these are the... Oh yeah, it tells you where you're going. Yeah, it is not important. There's some privates. Little double talk here. So you're the students who come toward the fortress? Yes, sir. He's wearing an officer's uniform. I wonder if he's... This is Lieutenant General Walter, commander of Garellia Fortress. He also serves as the division commander for the 5th Armor Division, which is stationed here. I apologize for not greeting you sooner, sir. Thank you for granting us the opportunity to tour the fortress. Oh, yeah. It really is an honor. Well, at least you aren't lacking in manners. Hardly built like a soldier, though. I have my doubts that you'd be able to enjoy the military's training regimen with a physique like that. You sure you're training them properly, Major? My apologies, sir. Though I hear the Academy has a former bracer as their combat instructor, they must really be scraping bottom. I've heard of the Purple Lightning before, of course, but a bracer is still a bracer. Leaving such an important role in the hands of a civilian is ridiculous. The famous Thoris isn't what it used to be. Well, no surprises here. It's like he fills in every box on the checklist for a stereotypical Imperial Army soldier. Anyway, as Fortress Commander, allow me to welcome you to Garellia. Keep in mind, though, that we're constantly on alert for potential threats from the east. No problem with your class, conducting your field study here, but see that you don't get in the way. Of course, sir. Very well, I'll take my leave here as I have business to attend to. You're not going to salute him as he leaves. It's kind of rude. Whoa, he was certainly strict. Well, he is responsible for keeping one of the Empire's most vital defensive fortifications running smoothly. Considering the ongoing tensions between the Empire and the Republic, you should be grateful he allows you to come at all. I won't forget it. Now I'm afraid I must excuse myself as well. You're welcome to tour the rest of the fortress, but don't try to enter the command center. Of course, good luck with your work, instructor. See you later then. And then I think there's just... Wait, no, there's another one missing. I think, well, it's Sarah and Emma? Yep. Oh yeah, Toval gave me a call about what happened in Legram. So you had a mechanical monster show up outside the city limits. Yeah, Toval looked pretty concerned when we first mentioned to him too. Do you know anything about them? Well, I'm no stranger to the group that makes them. They go by the name Ouroboros. They're a secret society of sorts that acts in the shadows all across the continent. A secret society? We don't know how many members there are, what they're capable of. Honestly, we don't know much about them at all. What we do know is that they have access to technology more advanced than the most cutting-edge research institutes, and that they've been behind several crises that have threatened to shake the foundations of entire nation-states. And these are the people who made those monsters? If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I'd find it hard to swallow, but there's no denying what we saw out there. Well, you don't need to come to grips with it just yet. We call the mechanical monsters like the one you guys fought archaisms. And lately, it seems like an awful lot of them have made their way onto the black market. There's been one sighting after another these days, all over the Empire and beyond. Well, that's heavy. Does that mean there's a chance they might be plotting something here in Erebona? Just in your opinion, I mean. Well, that's the tricky thing about them. It doesn't necessarily mean that at all. There have been cases where we know they put archaisms out into the wild purely to test their abilities, for example. Still, it's something to keep in the back of your mind at least. Right, I'll be sure to let the others know too. Oop, 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 oop. Are you taking a rest, Emma? I did take a short walk around, but everything about this fortress is so imposing. Made me feel a little faint. I feel you there. Looking at Emma now, it's hard to believe she's the same person who almost single-handedly guided us through that castle. Right? Nah, never mind. But there is one thing that's been bugging me lately, ever since we arrived in Legram. I feel like just out of the corner of my eye, I catch glimpses of this small black shadow following us. But ever since we got to the fortress, I haven't seen it. Really? Maybe you were possessed by something. Possessed? Yikes, that's kind of an unsettling thought. It is, isn't it? I'm glad I told her to go back when we reached Kildick. It's right. Which one is missing? Oh no. Oh, I think I know where it's at. Are you here? Nope, not there. Which one is missing? We have to go to the front side. Yep. Here we go. Gotta see this too. Looks like this is the fortress airport. There might come a day when I find myself in a military airship. And then the important ones are over here. Crazy, it's really is night and day. Yeah, it's hard to imagine two places more diametrically opposed. What's wrong, you two? Oh, we were just talking about how different this place is to Jurai. Jurai was super lively, but this place, I think Crow's having withdrawals now that he's somewhere without easy access to a casino at all times. I can imagine. It seems like everyone's talking about Jurai these days, though was it really that amazing? It was. I didn't know what to expect with the recent annexation by Erebona, but everything looked fine to me. It has offices, an entertainment district, and all the people I saw were thoroughly enjoying themselves. I'd go as far to say that they're happy to be under the Imperial government's control. I don't know if I'd go that far. Oh? A little bird told me Chancellor Osborne was the one behind the annexation in the first place. It also told me he used some pretty forceful tactics to get them to agree. And of course, most of their tax money takes a brand new detour straight into the Imperial government's pockets. I wouldn't be surprised if he made the annexation happen just to fatten his pocketbook. But paying taxes is a citizen's duty. It's only natural that they do so now that they're under Ereboners' protection, right? Sounds like this is a pretty complicated issue. Is that it? Should be it, maybe. Yep, there it is. The bulletin is to inform all Thor students that preparations for today's military exercise are now complete. Please assemble in the hangar immediately. Your transport is standing by. I repeat. That's Instructor Neidhart. Time must have passed more quickly than I thought. Suppose I should start making my way toward the hangar. Maybe I'll run into the others on the way. We boarded the armored cars and set off toward the proving grounds. The inside of the armored cars was narrow and cramped, and the smell of machine oil hung in the musty air. The car shook and rattled over the uneven ground, tumbling us around like an iron coffin on wheels. Eventually, after enduring 10 minutes of jaw-rattling travel, unable to even peek outside at the scenery, we have finally arrived at Garellia Fortress military proving grounds. Yeah, why do they have like terrible braking systems? They weren't even going that fast. Garellia Fortress Annex Military Training Ground. Wow, Atsun main battle tanks. There are plenty of older model tanks out there too, even if it looks like they have airships here. Oh yeah, like the ones we saw in Nord. Welcome. Oh. Look at that hair, you know who that is. So that's Elliot's dad. I don't see the family resemblance. Looks like the hair made the jump from father to son though. Reporting, Lieutenant General. Very good, Neidhart. Instructor Valestein, I believe. Pleased to meet you. It's an honor to make your acquaintance, Lieutenant General Craig. Allow me to extend my deepest thanks for agreeing to cooperate with us for the Academy's curriculum today. Think nothing of it. Many of these fine youngsters may one day hold positions in the Imperial Army after all. Besides, I owe a lot to old General Van Dyke. And these must be... What a piercing stare. And this is Craig the Red. Elliot, my boy! Yes! It's so good to see you again. I've been calling him Elliot Boy for 50 some episodes now. Not all the way since the beginning, but I started shortly into the series. And Elliot, my boy. And now his dad says it. Huh? Must be half a year now since I last saw you. How have you been? That's a sharp looking uniform you've got too. I've seen the photos, but it looks even better on you in person. Dad, come on. You've still got a long way to go if you want to put on some real muscle. There's a part of me that hopes you'll stay my little cherub forever. But you're a man of Erebona, and the men of the Empire must be strong, stout, and ready for action. It was for your own good as a man that I held back my tears and enrolled you in the military academy. The dad, I can't breathe. I feel like everything I've been told about him was a lie. There do seem to be some differences from the stories. You kidding me? He seems like a cool guy. What a delightful commanding officer you have, Major. Words fail me. Dad, knock it off. I'll tell Fiona. With how fast he moved. Moving right along. Lieutenant General Olaf Craig. I'm Lieutenant General Olaf Craig, Commander of the Imperial Army's 4th Armored Division. I've been entrusted with the role of overseeing today's joint military exercise. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Likewise, sir. It's a pleasure, sir. You've got one heck of a dad, Elliot. Believe me, I feel it in the bones. Now, let me give you a brief rundown of what will be happening. This exercise will consist of a simulated battle conducted by 2 of our armored divisions. Armored regiments at the formation center, infantry, armored cars, and airships will work in tandem, using their maneuverability to the fullest to obliterate the targets. As our targets today, we'll be using previous model tanks that have been decommissioned from service. Autopilot functionality will allow them to evade and return fire, but they've only been armed with paint bullets. However, all other regiments taking part in today's exercise have been equipped with live ammunition. So you intend to actually destroy the other tanks. It would hardly be a live fire exercise if we didn't. The current time is 1400 hours, right on schedule. We'll now begin today's joint military exercise. Armored Divisions 4 and 5 commence combat operations. Glory to the Empire and the Imperial Army. Begin. Yes, sir. 5th Armored Division, Armored Regiment will advance first. Armored Car Regiment and Infantry Regiment follow their lead. 4th Armored Division, Armored Regiment and Infantry Regiment advance together. Armored Car Regiment deploy to the left and right. Boom. They got one shot off and then they got wrecked. Wow. Certainly potent. This is the kind of firepower it takes to fight a modern war. You said those tanks are called XSEEDs? Yeah, they're a type of main battle tank the Reinford Company developed 2 years ago. I've seen their spec sheets, but seeing their power firsthand tells you what numbers and decimal points don't. It might be the strongest heavy tanks on the continent, and the Imperial Army's got a couple hundred of those in the wings, huh? It's kind of crazy. After you try fighting things like this head on, you won't stand a chance. That's as true for our own nation as it is for others. I just can't get used to this. Just the sound of the artillery firing is enough to make me start shaking. I don't think that's something you should get used to. I mean, if the sound of guns in warfare ever stopped bothering you, I'd be worried. Green? Anxiety. But have a panic attack. Guess it's another kind of strength. I only know because sometimes I get a little bit of anxiety myself. Full disclosure. Thus, the military exercise came to an end. The 4th Armored Division, led by Lieutenant General Craig, withdrew to an encampment near the fortress. Meanwhile, we returned to the fortress where Major Neidhart outlined the results of the training exercise. After that, dinner time. Or not. Oh, actually, it is dinner time. Sorry you had to wait for us to finish. Don't worry about it. We're the guests here, after all. Thanks for your consideration. At the very least, I'd say dinner is 1,000,000 times better than lunch was. I mean, it's hashed beef day. That's an Imperial Army tradition, isn't it? Ooh, just the smell's making me hungry. Oh yeah, where'd your instructor go? She's a real looker. I was hoping to get a chance to talk to her. She went to see the fortress commander with Instructor Neidhart. She did ask us to eat without her tonight. Alright, well, if she's with Major Neidhart, it's hard to compete with those guys from the 4th Armored Division. It'd be enough if they just had Craig the Red, but they've got the Major too, and he's kinda scary. Haha. Like a division of muscle men. Anyway, we shouldn't keep you tied up any longer. Your hash beef's gonna go cold. See you tomorrow, guys. See, this looks like a better meal. Wow, it's actually delicious. But you guys aren't eating, you're just staring at it. The sound of people eating, but nobody's eating. It's like night and day compared to what we had for lunch. You're telling me. Come on, guys, what's with all the gloomy faces? I think you guys might have had a bit too rosy of an outlook. What were you expecting to see out there? I'm sure you can understand at least a little of how we feel. It's like everything we've learned in our time at the academy has been for nothing. Academics, the arts, individual skill in combat, none of those matter in the slightest in real warfare, do they? It's true. If all you're looking to do is fight a war, you don't need any of those. All you need is plenty of troops at your command, the latest weaponry, and overwhelming firepower. Assuming you know the tactics to use them well and a strategy that employs them effectively, I suppose. The Atsins are even more powerful than I was expecting them to be, too. I remember my mother boasting about their capabilities when she was trying to sell them to the army 2 years ago, but to be honest, I'm feeling somewhat disheartened as well. I can't see there being a place for swords on the battlefield with weapons like those on the front lines. Well, I don't think that means individual combat skill doesn't matter at all. Still, I think maybe we've been misunderstanding something important all this time. What we saw in that military exercise today was power in its purest form. It has no morality of its own. It exists to bring about a result, regardless of the ideals or principles of those who wield it. That's true. In a sense, the same could be said of a sword or a gun, and all the way up to something as huge as Garellia's railway guns, too. I think I finally understand why they wanted us to watch that military exercise in the first place. They could have taught us in a less roundabout fashion. Looks like you didn't wait for me to start the party. Hey, hot teacher's back. Instructor Sarah, so you spoke with the commander? I sure did. Got the up-to-date info on the trade conference too, as well as the latest on the terrorists. Blink. So there's new information about the Imperial Liberation Front? Anyway, before I get to that, let me explain what you'll be doing tomorrow. In the morning, you're scheduled to participate in the Imperial Army's physical fitness training. In the afternoon, you'll be attending a special lecture where I'll bring you up to speed on the info I just mentioned. After that, you'll be granted special permission to view the railway guns. I see. Looking forward to that. Sounds like we've got a pretty packed schedule. Well, we did bring you all the way out here, we might as well make the most of it. Every nation possesses power in the form of a military, whether that military is large or small. Garellia Fortress just happens to have that power in a very striking, easy to understand form. As students of a military academy, you have an obligation to know the scale of that power. The Empire of Erebonor wields at present a power you might one day be in charge of yourselves. What? Hee. Anyway, even a meeting that long couldn't keep me away from trying the famous Tash beef rice. Heard it's the only decent food they have around here, so I've been looking forward to this all day. We should probably finish eating. Yeah, though it's gotten a bit cold now. Maybe I'll go and ask for seconds. Oh, Eustace, if you don't want the rest of yours, can I have it? I'd sooner throw it away than give it to you. Jesus, he doesn't like her. Click. Okay, that should do it. Alright, that covers today's quota. Phew, I'm looking forward to a nice long bath. Well, you know how every time there's a military exercise coming up, the workload gets pretty crazy like this. Still, at least managing inventory has gotten a lot easier thanks to the orbital net. They've got everything hooked up on the network over in Crossbell, right? Wish the Empire would get on that a bit more. Think of the utility. Well, from the sound of it, you need special equipment to send signals through a wired connection to make use of it. Yeah, you need a modem and a router. Considering the size of the Empire, it's probably going to be quite a while before it's a widespread thing here. Huh? An orb mail. Looks like it's from HQ. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This right here is the problem with the orbital net. And there's no such thing as off hours when they can just send you orders around the clock. Okay. I can't, there's no mouse. Wait, is there? Do I have a mouse control? Doesn't matter. Okay, so the dude talking, the one that says, huh, what's going on? And the dude to his left, and the dude in the front row here that's standing next to the guy sitting down on the left. Well, actually, well, okay. Oh my god, I just realized. Okay, so 3 dudes look, there's two dudes, 2 skins, and 3. I don't know how to explain it. So in the back row, you've got the 2 dudes on the right side, and the front row, the dude on the far left or the dude on the left, they look identical. And then the other 3 guys, they look identical. It's like, we got lazy. We just made the same skin over and over. It's so stupid. So get this, they're planning on doing some extra exercise tomorrow. That means we gotta outfit 20 Atsons with C units by tomorrow. 20. Seriously? Might as well start up another pot of coffee. We're in for an all-nighter for sure. Do we even have that many C units left? Actually, another lot came by freight just this evening. Exactly 20, if you can believe it. Why 20? Guess we'll just have to get it done. Crap, at least let us take a shower. I'm gonna head down to the mess hall and grab some snacks. You want anything? Dun, 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 dun. So this is where this episode's gonna end. It's a longer episode. Previous episode was short because of had to go do stuff, but this one's longer, and it's the second time I've had to do it. Hopefully this one the computer accepts and there's no problems. I'm thinking I need a new hard drive. I'm gonna have to swap out. You can probably even hear it in the background. It's like because I'm recording. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. If we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're gonna have a giveaway. Give away some cool nerd stuff. I have a lot of things I'd like to give away. Been saving and saving and saving. Also, leave a like, leave a comment, and then if you subscribe, get notified. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.